Hey y'all, it's your favorite girl Perrier, and you're currently locked into another episode of Perrier Her Way podcast, where we discuss all things relating to everyday life lessons and experiences that have shaped our way of being. Also, how to better understand that not only are we all uniquely different, but divinely the same. Okay, so today's little topic, little video, it's just a little minor Q&A. I actually recorded my second topic or my second video a few days ago, but I've been having issues uploading it. So till then, I'm actually have like some questions that my little cousin wrote for me like about a year ago. Cause again, mind you, I was supposed to do this about 2 years ago. But it's just little questions that she had. Mind you, she's going to be 13 this month. My little baby, she's growing up, but I my little cousins and my son are a huge part of like my healing journey just because like they look up to me so much. It's like a moral obligation for me to be on point. It was like a duty for me to like go heal and figure things out so that one, I'm able to break these generational curses that is within our family that no one wants to acknowledge, but to two, to be that person that I never had to help them heal along their way, even if it's just wanting to ask simple questions. Like, I'm completely honest with my child and with the children in my life because like I never had that. But I felt like it was time for me to actually answer some of these questions. And mind you, again, she was like 11 when she wrote these, so it's not anything like crazy, but I think it's something that's, useful for me to put on YouTube, especially for the younger generation to view, just so if they're having these questions or these thoughts or concerns, they can, refer back to and even take these questions to the people that they look up to in their life. So with that being said, we're going to get into the first question. Um, and it says, how did you get started or realize you needed to focus on yourself? Um, oh, so how I got started, honestly, like I mentioned, was through pain and betrayal. I went through so much that it just made me feel it. It wasn't that it made me like once you go through enough pain, once you go through enough, trials and tribulations, once you learn enough lessons, you naturally, well, at least for me, and I would hope most people, you tend to want to heal. Like, who wants to feel pain all the time? Who wants to, and mind you, there are people who do that are comfortable in their ways, that are comfortable um, with dealing with the same situations, dealing with the same people who they know have hurt them. But me personally, like I can't. My pain tolerance is very low. It's very low. I can very much become Eeyore um based off of the things that I'm dealing with. So once I was able to hear God, that's when I realized, okay, yeah, it's time for you to change. Like, Miss Ma'am, the man above is trying to get your attention. So you should at least be paying enough attention that things aren't right with you. I had always, since a child, clearly, I feel like most people who deal with trauma and things like that, they want to feel something different, even if it's in a means of chasing after things that just doesn't feed your soul. You have to go through those life lessons. You have to experience things that you may not expect yourself to experience in order to know like this ain't right. So I've going through all the pain and trauma and abuse that I have. Once, I want to say when I realized it was like when I was crashing out over a man that now I am like completely disgusted by. Like, I'm telling you, like, just thinking about him, just looking at him. Mm-mm. I got a dirty taste in my mouth now. Just like, mm-mm. Like, even just the thought of him make me feel so spiritually unclean and dirty, and like he just made me not he made me realize that I wasn't loving myself. And that's when I realized I had to focus on myself, because it's like I'm over here crashing out focusing on a man that honestly I don't even think like women. Like, that's when I started learning about down low men and all types of weird stuff. But it's like he put me through so much turmoil, which was his plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I'm not a licensed therapist, or, and I have an issue with self diagnosing myself, but I know for a fact that man was a narcissist. I know for a fact that he possibly was a sociopath. He was very much giving Jeffrey Dahmer vibes. I'm talking about, like, imagine dating somebody, but in their mind, they not really dating you. They just like have a plan on just like ruining your life, to a point where they gonna like literally tell you that, like, I just wanted to like hurt you. So yeah, once you have somebody like tell you to your face that, like, in all the years that you've known them, they only had one common goal, which to was to make you hate yourself. That was all I needed to like actually start focusing on myself. So like I said, I've been spending the past like 2 years on this journey, of salvation, and healing and getting closer to God, and building my relationship with Jesus, based off of someone making me feel like I was not worthy. And it wasn't that I felt like I was unworthy because I felt like I wasn't good enough for him. It was just the thought of, how can I be so madly in love with somebody whose only viewpoint of me is, I don't deserve anything. I deserve to hurt, because why should I be anything, even in love with them? Like, it was just weird. It was like a weird dynamic. So that's how I got started on, focusing on myself, was realizing that I had people around me that I like loved dearly. Like, I wanted to run it up. Friends, family, lovers, having them basically try and tell me to my face in an attempt to hurt me that I didn't matter, that they didn't want me, that I was this, that I was that. And knowing that it wasn't true was all the motivation I needed to focus on myself. Okay. And question two, she said, how did you put everything behind you and start over? Honestly, God, everything gonna be gonna be back to God, which is why I can see why people who don't believe in God or don't like Christians, again, like I said, I'm not on here calling myself a Christian. I can't even call this Christian content, because again, I am not living a Christian life. I'm still on my journey. I've been following God, faithfully for the past 2 years now, which is not that much time. So I still have so much to unlearn, so much to unpack within myself, um, and so much to gain as far as strengthening my faith, that I can't call myself a Christian, because then I would feel like that hypocritical Christian that people complain about. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you live like this or you do this, but then you talk about God. Yes, because baby, I am His child. I am definitely His child. He definitely blesses me, protects me, covers me. He does everything and has been doing everything um I need my entire life, and it was just me, and me trying to lean into my own understanding and feel as if I had the control and power to lead my life, is what made me start over. Like I mentioned in another video, I don't know if that was the first video that I posted on my Patreon, the in-depth one, or the second one that I still need to post. But once I went through all my, my last big betrayal, and when I said, like, I literally was left with nobody. Like I said, the sociopathic narcissistic man. When they put you in positions where, like, okay, now all your friends aren't dealing with you, you already weren't dealing with family, like you're all alone, you're heartbroken, now you hearing God. He is what allowed me to start over, because it was like, I don't have anything else to do. I can't go backwards. I can't go back to this person who is headstrong about just making me suffer because he hates himself. I can't go back to these group of friends who were so invested in having clout and being a part of something or being in the room that their first instinct was to turn their back on me. So if you thought I was about to come beg you or actually be my friend again, that was never going to happen. At that point, being in my 30s, I was definitely not running back to family, because this is where this started. The people pleasing, the codependency, the abandonment, it started with y'all. So I'm not going to go back there as well. So when I was left with nothing but God, and able to actually really like be put in the wilderness, be by myself, healed, that is literally how I started over. God gave me the opportunity to just start over, for by allowing the enemy to do what they did, so that I can focus on myself and I can realize, like, okay, this not what you want, that's not what you need, and you may not know where you're going yet, but you do know that God got your back and he's giving you another chance. So that is how I put everything behind me, because it was just like, it was evident, that this is not going to work, yet alone make you happy. So now what do? And it's giving up is definitely not an option. I'm never going to, you know, check out by letting life cash out on me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Again, I say this all the time. It literally wears people out how I can go through certain things that really would have taken them out, and then still love and still want to grow and just try new things. Like, here I am, in my mid 30s, basically at this point, starting a YouTube channel. Even though I've always been the main character, I've never wanted enough attention that, like, I was going to completely put my business out there to the world or to the internet. But again, once people try and back you into basically a cage at this point, like, it was beyond my back against the wall. It was, you want me to be so wrapped up and locked in my feelings that I feel like I don't have any other option, and that was never gonna happen. So yeah, we started over real quick once God snatched me up out that fire and placed me in the wilderness. So, and even now, like I said, it's 2025, it's January, it's the first week actually. Um Day 7 of 2025, and it's just like, I can't even imagine um how I plan on rebranding myself this year, because that I'm always doing that. I think that was another big part of why people were so jealous of me, is because, like, I don't need a gimmick to have motion. You know what I'm saying? I've never needed thousands of followers or actual validation. Like, when I wanted validation, it was like from a specific person, from a specific situation. Like, I never cared about the mass collective. I just cared about that one thing that's like eating away at me. And it's like, I have to have it. It has to be right. Like, that was the only thing that made me feel as if I needed to be seen. But it's like, I can never not be seen. Look at me. So yeah, I just went on a little tangent, but okay, let me get back to the next question. Number 3, it says, how did you find the time to do what you need to do or needed to do? Um, Honestly, that's something that I still struggle with. Um, I'm still, it's not that I don't have time to do what I need to do. I think I'm needing to find the strength to do what I need to do. Um, and in that, it sometimes leaves me in a position where I'm kind of unsure, but that's the importance of being able to like use your discernment and building your mental strength and your faith in God, and knowing that even when I don't know what I need to do right now, like I know you got me and you'll eventually let me know. And at that point, it's just about being obedient. I definitely have spoken on that, like how I am struggling with that obedience and patience as far as this journey goes, because it's like clearly I'm still deep into my worldly matters that it's like, oh, I have to figure this out. I have to do that. And, it's none of it is what God is actually wanting from me. Like God is not caring about me um overly expressing myself to others. God isn't caring about me having everything in order or perfect. Even now, it took me like 3 days to record another video for what I had plenty of time to do it, but I just didn't feel like it. So it's like I'm definitely still struggling with that, which, like I said, I've only been on this journey for about 2 years now. And I know for people who are probably just watching this or just on their journey, they're probably like, that's a long time. It's really not. Like when you actually go through things or you actually like working on yourself, like you literally look up and it's the next year. So that's why I'm saying I couldn't even imagine like where I will be like in the next 4 years, yet alone this year or so. But it's exciting. I'm always rebranding myself. People always find it crazy that, oh, well, this person did this to you, or this person said that about you last year, or you was just trying to do this and now you were doing that, and you still going, yes, and I'm going to keep going as long as I have breath in my lungs. I'm going to keep starting over. I'm going to keep listening to God, and I'm going to keep on this journey and this path of what exactly I'm here to do. Like I said, outside of just being a voice for people to understand, like, we are more like than you think. Therefore, there's no need to hate people. There's no need to hurt people. Just work on yourself so you can better understand exactly what you have to offer to the world. I think you'll be able to actually really save yourself some time, energy, and effort of just like burnout. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing this, that, and the third to feel something or feel like I belong. But again, that's not even what I was called to do. So now I just wasted like that. And that too honestly played a big part in um my shame and my regret from the past. Like I wasted 30 years just not doing anything, even in the things that I have done. I never even celebrated myself in any of my accomplishments because people always made me feel like I was um conceited or a burden for being amazing, or, oh, I, even though I see you just did something great, or I admire what you did, I'm not even going to tell you it because why should you get any more attention? That type of stuff would have people not celebrating themselves. And next thing you know, you're on to the next thing and you didn't even actually take time not only to view how amazing you are, but to thank God. Thank you, God, for that opportunity. Thank you, God, for sparing me in this situation. Thank you, God, for just, putting me in a position where I'm actually able to experience life. So I'm still working on um, doing what I need to do. But again, this is me being obedient. So we will get there. So, question 4, she said, how did you keep it calm and classy with everything you've been through? Ooh, baby. Honestly, the only thing, and I'm telling you, like, I think I spoke about this. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I have so many people from my past who like literally feel like they got the upper hand, literally feel like they won. And it's like, how? How does me walking away from something that does not serve me mean you won? I don't care if you got that man that was abusive to me. He was abusive to me. You can have him. He was a cheater. He can cheat on you. Like, I don't care if it was a fake friend that felt like, oh, well, we ran her away and she's not in the room and she's not getting attention from these people anymore. They weren't my people. I wasn't supposed to be in that room. God trying to take me somewhere else where I can be even more abundant, yet alone help be the person that he called me to be to those people. Like, once I know that it is not for me, baby, I'm done. And then too, me being the main character, like I said, it's kind of always just been instilled with me. I feel like when you're chosen, you just naturally like that. Like, we're not evil people. We're not out here trying to fight and be loud, and you know what I'm saying? Like, be the biggest person in the room. We already are. You know what I'm saying? Just walking in the room, we command all the attention and energy just like that. So me knowing how much people actually watch me without admitting it was all I needed to keep it cute and classy. And then I'm cute. Like, I don't want to be rude or mean, because honestly, and I'm gonna get into that. Imagine how many people probably be like, "Oh yeah, she's a bitch and she's this and she's that." I don't care about that. I think the worst thing you can call a woman is ugly. Like, that is such a horrible word. Like, me personally, even if somebody has been like, "Oh, she's ugly," okay, okay. Where? But so I would never, like, that could never offend me in the first place, because I clearly, you know, think I'm very beautiful. I do think highly of myself. Like I said, any insecurities I have, it's really just like self-worth, of feeling like I'm disappointing God. Like, man, I messed up. I dropped the ball, backslid. Like, now I done messed up. That's the only thing that I actually struggle with. I don't struggle with, oh, feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough for this man, or I'm not pretty enough to be in this group. Like, I've been called pretty my entire life, but I think that calling a woman ugly is the most disgusting thing you can do. And something you shouldn't do, because I feel like that's like a big way to get karma, like being one of those type of mean girls. Like, oh yeah, she ugly, she this, she that. But I can say, me knowing that I'm pretty, me knowing that I'm beautiful, is also another reason why I was able to walk away from a lot of situations and keep it classy, because it's like, I'm too cute. You know how they will always say in the past, like, "Oh, you too pretty to be fighting," or "You too pretty to be smoking." Yes, that is a thing. Pretty girls don't got time for it. And I'm not trying, like I said, baddies and all them not pretty girls. Them are wild women. Let's be clear. They're not ugly, but you're outside of what is considered a divine feminine. And I consider myself a divine feminine. That's what my channel is all about, divine feminine and masculine's healing, and, growing their relationship and whatever their faith is, yet along with God. So knowing that I'm too cute, like, I'm sorry, you won't catch me out here like really acting out. When I did in the past, because don't get me wrong, like, I definitely used to be a hothead, like, baby, don't say nothing